Hey everybody, back again with another quick tutorial. I actually just previously recorded this, but I decided it was too long and too much rambling. Sorry about the sound in the background. I'm 3D printing something. I'm going to cover that hopefully soon. Anyway, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to use GarageBand to create a soundboard for whether it's for a podcast or for me, I'm actually going to be using it for a D&D group that I play with. So I've got like some knife slashing, some punching, and an alert sound. And I'm probably going to expand it more. But so the first thing you want to do, and I'm not going to do this on screen, but you'll essentially go to YouTube and find a nice sound effect, or wherever you want to get sound effects from that you can purchase them, I think, in iTunes Store, all the same. But what you'll do is you'll get the easiest method I could say would be get the sound effect onto your desktop, and if it's an MP3, then that's fine. If you can download it as a .wav, that's even better, because that's what we need to be able to work with. So let's say you've got an MP3 file here, right? You're going to click in it to where you can edit it, and you're just going to change it to WAV, hit enter. And it'll ask you, do you want to use WAV? And you're going to say, yes, use that WAV. Okay, so I've already done with the other ones here that I've got. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and open GarageBand. And unfortunately, I already have one open, so I'm just going to close this out, and I'm not going to save it. And I'm going to, here you are. We've got a new project. Just open up an empty project and hit choose. Now, I am going to talk quickly about something here before we kind of get any further into this. So I am going to be actually using what's called a Midi controller, and I'll show you what that is really quickly. Essentially, a Midi controller is like a series of pads, or also connected to a sometimes a small keyboard. They can be fairly cheap. Depending on where you're getting them from, you might be able to get a used one. I don't know why it took me to the Wikipedia page. Midi controller. So yeah, you've got some ones here, with the little pads and then actual keyboard, all the same. Essentially what it does is it's going to take a signal and apply it to like a number value within GarageBand. And I know you can do this with a keyboard as well, but in the sense of just making it more simple, if you have a USB keyboard, that would make everything a lot easier. So they also make them like this, where they're just pads. And I actually am using a Kai MPD-24. That's what I'm using for this. So here we go. And if you actually look closer, there's buttons here that will show, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, an A, B, C, and D essentially. And then there's pre-programmed banks that assign these different pads in different ways. And if you really want to get into it, you can kind of explore it a little more on your own. But there are more simple ones, but they're all just kind of plug and play from what I understand. You literally just plug it into a USB port on your laptop or whatever, and GarageBand will actually pick it up. It's just how in depth do you want to make it to customize it, things like that. So getting back to GarageBand, here we go. So we're going to open up a project, and we want to do software instrument. Okay, and the other thing we need to do first is under details. I want to hear sound from built-in. You might want to make sure you have this enable audio units. And this is going to allow you to essentially add and edit audio files. These are the settings that I'm doing. Clearly, like my mic that I'm currently using to record this video is there. And I'm, again, my pad is actually plugged in, but it's not seeing it. That's fine. I don't care. It works. And then I'm just crap. Sorry about that. Anyway, so close out of this, and we'll do create. So it's going to give us this like basic keyboard to start off with. Totally fine. Doesn't matter. We're going to change it anyway. So if this didn't show up for you down at the bottom, this is kind of where we need to get to. I'm not exactly sure how to open it if it doesn't open automatically for you. Clearly we're kind of editing this this instrument. Yeah. I'm going to turn this off. And so here we are. This is where this is what we need. Okay, so we're going to go down to plugins. We're going to scroll down, and we see this vintage piano. It's the name of the instrument essentially. And we're going to change this. As you can see, I've recently opened it up, but you'll go to AU Instruments, Apple, and then AU sampler, and then stereo. So I'll keep this open here for a second just so you can kind of see how to do it. And we'll go ahead and click it. Okay, and so then this is where we're going to be essentially making, I guess, what we would call a profile for our soundboard. Okay, there's a few things to think about with this, so I'm going to go ahead and just minimize this in the background because I don't actually need it right now. A few things. Major thing is that we're going to be working pretty much exclusively in the show editor. So as you can see, there's already a sine synth whatever already kind of built into it, and if you kind of select it, you can see it's just like on my keyboard, like right now, because the note is so low, it's actually not even registering it. But if I change my bank, my pad bank on my controller, and I go essentially an octave higher, it'll pick up. So there you go. And I'm switching back to A on my bank now. So what we want to do is then come down to our little, first thing, major, if you want to be able to control the sound just by pressing it, like a one button press and it plays the whole clip all the way through, then what you're going to do is change this from key down to key down, ignore key up. If, however, it's like a song clip or something like that, and you're like in between, radio show kind of thing, and you're trying to play sound clips that are, whatever, then maybe the key down is the way you want to go, because essentially that makes it where as long as you're holding down the key, it's going to play the sample. But if you want to just press it and let it run, and it's just like a short clip, essentially like what I'm doing, then this is the setting you want. Also, we're going to come back to this for this specific thing here, this velocity, and I think this range as well. So, and as you can see, 0 to 27 velocity essentially means how hard are you pressing the key. So if you press it really soft, it's going to come out really, really soft, and you might not even hear it. But if you play it at full volume at 127, it'll play the clip full volume. So if for some reason if you play it and it's not loud enough, then it's an issue with the clip that you'll have to go back and fix. And I might be able to show you how to fix that here in a minute. We're gonna go and revisit the clips here in a second. So what we want to do is we want to come down to this gear, and yes, we have this one built in, but we're going to get rid of it because otherwise if it stays there, whenever we play our clip, the sound from this is also going to play. So we're going to get rid of that. So don't you worry. So then hit this little gear, and we're going to go to add samples. And again, this is where having those files in the waveform is going to be the best, because for some reason that's what it picks up and likes. So I'm going to show you two, and then I'm essentially going to open one that I've saved already. So what we'll do is we'll now pick one of our sound effects here, and I'm going to use this punch one because the Metal Gear Solid Alert one is I think a little harsh on the ears. So we'll do this punch sound effect. We're going to go ahead and open it, and it'll give us here in the drop down. So as you can see now, this little minus sign is grayed out. If we click into this one, it'll light up, right? So now we can go back to the sine wave and then remove it. Okay, so now we have our punch sound effect. So essentially what you're looking at now is it will play the punch sound effect in all the notes and all the ranges and all like a different volume. So you can have like versus right, like really fast or really slow based on the octave. So we're going to get rid of that. First thing we'll do is we want to turn the track pitch off, meaning that whatever key that we play it at, it's just still going to play the clip at the normal sound of the clip. Now you can see this keyboard actually goes to C-1. C is the note on the actual keyboard. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay. So my little pad or whatever actually only starts at C2. And yours might do the same. But if you have a full keyboard, then you essentially have more mappability, I guess, without having to switch the bank on your controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to change, and this is not C-1, it's C-1. So we're going to change this to C2 because that's where my keyboard starts. And you can see now all this range where the clip could have been played is now gone. And we're going to do the same thing on this side because we only want it to be on the one key. So we're going to change this to C2. and hit enter. And now we've only got it on the C2 key there. And so, oh, it actually just played. Interesting. I wasn't doing that before for me for some reason. So the other thing that we're going to change here again is the velocity. So 127. Okay. And it's gone because it's at the top of the range. And for some reason, you can't like scroll up and like see the top of the range, and you can't like adjust it. So for us, it's just gone for some reason. Like the top of the range, we're not able to see, and I'm not able to make this window bigger to make it do that. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But we know it's there. So if you wanted to keep that there just so that you know that it's programmed there, that's totally fine. But I would come back and change that to 127 once you've got all of your sounds mapped out. Okay. And then if you want it to play if you want the clip to play all the way through, then clearly you want it to play it through releasing the button, right? So I think that's what this does. Essentially, if you press and hold the key, if you have that setting done, it'll play the clip all the way through, even if you just tap the button. If you, however, are holding it and then release it, it'll stop the clip. So again, this might be the better setting to have if you're trying to play like a commercial break song or something like that, where you're essentially going, like you're transitioning from one topic to another or something like that. You would press and hold the key, and then whether you want it to fade out or things like that, whenever you let go of the key, then that's kind of what you would select here. I'm not going to go into that because, you can kind of play around with it. No harm, no foul. Anyway, so we got our first one done here, and I'm going to actually use my little pad here to play it. Perfect. So we're going to go back, and we're going to add another one. So then we're going to create or add sample, and we're going to pick, I'm going to do the sword draw. So actually, you know what? Why don't we go back and I'll show you how to edit a clip. So this is the one that I did, and I'll go ahead and, okay, I'll delete this one. This is the one that I know was the one that was shortened. Okay, so here we go. So let's say you downloaded an audio clip from YouTube, and it's just too long on either side, and you play it and it takes too long for it to start, and it's not like an instant, like I press the button and the sound goes off. So what you'll do is you'll come here and right click it, and you're going to go to open with QuickTime Player. So now you'll have this open in QuickTime Player, and hopefully this doesn't stop my recording of the screen. But anyway, so what you'll do is you'll do File and Edit and Trim. Okay. And for some reason, if you go about this in a different way than I'm about to show you, it just won't work. So here we can see the actual audio in the clip. And what we can do is we can just move it so that it's just the part that we want. And if you want to shorten it this way, personally, I kind of like it, just make sure that it plays all the way out. And then it like gives you, oh, I opened the punch sound effect. Anyway, so same thing, right? Okay, so then what you do is you'll do trim. And see, now that the name has gone away. So if you try to like just click on this and change it, it won't actually stick. So what you'll do is you'll go to File, Export, Audio Only, and then it'll open this up. And just change the name of it to whatever you want it to be, and then hit save. I guess I'll just show you guys. Okay, so we'll do save, and then it'll go away. Just X out of it. Don't save, and then it'll be, there it is. So again, kind of going back to what we talked about at the very beginning, needing to make these WAV files, you'll then click into this and put .wav at the end and hit enter, because whenever you do something in QuickTime, it'll save it as a .m4a. So we want to change it to a .wav, right? And then bing, bang, boom, there you go. So we'll kind of run through that one more time since I need to do it again because I did the wrong one. Sword draw effects. Okay. Open with QuickTime Player. And we're going to go to Edit, Trim, and we're going to shave it down to there and do Trim. And then we'll go to File, and then we'll do Export, Audio Only. And then, oh, what was it called? I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, I think it's sword draw. Sword draw. And then save. Okay, and then we'll X out of this. Don't save. And then we'll move this out of the way. We got our sword draw here. And we'll move this over. Click into it. Scroll to the end. Type WAV. Enter. Yes. And I think I'm actually going to get rid of this one, since I have a good one now. Okay. And then we'll come back into our thing here and hit the little gear. Hit add samples. And scroll down to our new sword draw and open. And we'll go through the same process again. So this green area is essentially the other note that's there. So if you see that, you probably know that got to fix something. So come in here and again, kind of edit. First we'll just change the pitch. It's there. It's easy to do. And the next note, actually this little black note, these are all sharps. Okay, so C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, there's no E sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B, C. Okay, got it. I remember it. Thank you, high school band. Okay. So we'll do C sharp and then 2 and enter. So now we've narrowed it down to just the one note there, and we'll change the other one as well. C sharp 2, enter. And there we go. And again, so now, and we know that they're not overlapping, so on and so forth. We're going to change this velocity to 127. Okay. And we'll go here, and we'll also change this one to 127. Enter. All right, cool. So now, if I press it on my pad, it should play. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I wonder if it'll... Lots of swords being drawn there. Okay, perfect. Okay, and so then, well, let's say you get all your sounds in there and you're really happy with it. You love it. It's great. It's beautiful. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to go here, and we'll do... So I've already saved one, right? We'll go to Save As, and then give it a name, and then save it. And then the next time you open up GarageBand and you essentially get to this screen again, you'll actually have one there you can play with. So this is my other one. Whoa. Okay, so it didn't like that. But either way, there you go. Yeah, reopen, please. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not recognizing that I'm doing it on purpose. Okay, so let's open the editor and see if all my stuff is there. Yep, it is. Perfect. So I've got all my stuff here. And so then, yeah. So you have the different settings here. The keyboard mapping is essentially, this is everything we can play, blah, blah, blah. And then this is essentially if you want to change parameters based on the sounds that are coming in. But this is mostly if you're going to be using like a keyboard for actual sounds, like keyboard sounds. And if you go back into the keyboard here, so then we have, this is the parameters tab, essentially. Key mappings, parameters. So if you wanted to essentially add like an echo, or, well, I guess that's this, add decay time, add an echo, or how many times it'll play over and over before it kind of fades off into the distance, you can adjust that all with these here. And then of course you can add different effects and things like that. But again, this isn't going to be really useful for audio clips. But anyway, so I'm glad that I have shortened this video up and kind of simplified it as compared to my 20-minute one last time. I don't know how long this one will turn out to be, but definitely going to be a lot more straightforward. But anyways, if you're having trouble with this, please try to help each other. Again, I like to make these tutorial videos to help people out, such as myself, because when I try to find something and learn how to do something and there isn't something adequate out there, I try to make it as simple as possible so that people like you can learn and grow and help other people. So that's pretty much it. So then as long as you have GarageBand open in a project and you select the instrument as this instrument, then you should be able to just play your sounds. And whether you're recording that at the same time that you're recording a podcast should work, I think. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. So, I guess we could try. Nah, I'm not going to try it. But I assume you could just hit the record button here, just like you would for a podcast, and then be able to play all these sounds, and they would show up in there and all that good stuff. So I hope this really helps you guys. Please go and have fun with this. Again, consider purchasing a small keyboard or, a MIDI controller to be able to make this more fun for you and more simplistic. And then you can actually label your keys and things like that. And again, I think you could actually still just open up the, let's just see, open up the view. There is a way to show the, there we go, show the keyboard. So musical typing. And let's see, maybe I gotta go down one. Nope. Down one. Nope. Maybe it would help if we were playing a C key, huh? Wait, no, that is a C key, right? Octave, C0, C1, C2. Yeah, interesting. Well, for some reason it's not playing with the keyboard. If it is, I'm sorry for being super loud. But anyways, I'm sorry that doesn't work, but I think, whatever. Anyways, go buy a USB keyboard. They should be super cheap, and yeah, Amazon. All right, but anyways, thank you for sticking with me to the end of the video. Sorry about any background noise or growly dogs or 3D printer noises. But yeah, I hope this helps. Have a good day. Bye.